Hi guys, once again, Karen is here. The next keywords are reporting by my classmate. Let's start. Monopoly and monopolistic competition. A monopoly is the sole supplier of a product with no close substitutes. The most important characteristic of a monopolized market is barriers to entry. New firms cannot profitably enter the market. Barriers to entry are restrictions on the entry of new firms into an industry, legal restrictions, economies of scale, and control of an essential resource. Next, legal restrictions. One way to prevent new firms from entering a market is to make entry illegal. Patents, licenses, and other legal restrictions imposed by the government provide some producers with legal protection against competition. Patent and invention incentives. A patent awards an inventor the exclusive right to produce a good or service for 20 years. Patent laws encourage inventors to invest the time and money required to discover and develop new products and processes. Also provide the stimulus to turn an invention into a marketable product, a process called innovation. Licenses and other entry restrictions. Governments often confer monopoly status by awarding a single firm the exclusive right to supply a particular good or service. Broadcast, TV, and radio rights. State licensing of hospitals. Cable TV and electricity on local level. Economies of scale. A monopoly sometimes emerges naturally when a firm experiences economies of scale as reflected by the downward sloping long-run average cost curve. In these situations, a single firm can sometimes supply market demand and a lower average cost per unit than could two or more firms at smaller rates of output. It shows in the graph the economies of scale as a barrier to entry, cost per unit, and quantity per period in the long run average cost. Natural monopoly. Because such a monopoly emerges from the nature of cost, it is called a natural monopoly. A new entrant cannot sell enough output to experience the economies of scale enjoyed by an established natural monopolist. Entry into the market is naturally blocked. Control of essential resources. Another source of monopoly power is a firm's control over some non-reproducible resource critical to production. Professional sports teams try to block the formation of competing leagues by signing the best athletes to long-term contracts. Alcoa was the sole U.S. maker of aluminum for a long period of time because it controlled the supply of bauxite. China is the monopoly supplier of pandas. De Beers controls the world's diamond trade. Local monopolies. Local monopolies are more common than national or international monopolies. Numerous natural monopolies for products sold in local markets. However, as a rule, long-lasting monopolies are rare because, as we will see, a profitable monopoly attracts competitors. Revenue for the monopolist. Because a monopoly by definition supplies the entire market, the demand for goods or services produced by a monopolist is also the market demand. The demand curve for the monopolist output, therefore, slopes downward, reflecting the law of demand. As seen in the following discussion, this has important implications for revenues. Demand, average, and marginal revenue. Suppose San Miguel controls the entire diamond market, and suppose they can sell 3 diamonds a day at 7,000 US dollars each, total revenue of 21,000 US dollars. Total revenue divided by the quantity is the average revenue per diamond, which is also 7,000 US dollars. Thus, the monopolist price equals the average revenue per diamond. Monopolistic competition. Imperfect competition refers to those market structures that fall between perfect competition and pure monopoly. Many firms selling products that are similar but not identical. Attributes of monopolistic competition. Many sellers. Product examples include books, CDs, movies, computer games, restaurants, piano lessons, cookies, furniture, and etc. Product differentiation. Each firm produces a product that is at least slightly different from those of other firms. Rather than being a price taker, each firm faces a downward sloping demand curve and free entry and exit. Attributes of monopolistic competition. Free entry and exit. Firms can enter or exit the market without restriction. The number of firms in the market adjusts until economic profits are zero. Competition with differentiated products. The monopolistically competitive firm in the short run. Short-run economic profits encourage new firms to enter the market. This increases the number of products offered, reduces demand faced by firms already in the market. Incumbent firms' demand curve shift to the left. Demand for the incumbent firms' products fall and their profits declined. Figure 1. Monopolistic competition in the short run. A firm makes profit. So it's about the price and quantity, the average total cost, and profit maximizing quantity. Competition with differentiated products. The monopolistically competitive firm in the short run. Short-run economic losses encourage firms to exit the market. This decreases the number of products offered, increases demand faced by the remaining firms, shifts the remaining firms' demand curves to the right, increases the remaining firms' profit. Figure 1. Monopolistic competition in the short run. Once again, it's about the firm makes losses. As we can see, the price between the quantity, the average total cost, and the loss minimizing quantity. Firms will enter and exit until the firms are making exactly zero economic profits. Figure 2 shows a monopolistic competitor in the long run between the price and the quantity, so the profit maximizing quantity. 2 characteristics. As in a monopoly, price exceeds marginal cost. Profit maximization requires marginal revenue to equal marginal cost. The downward sloping demand curve makes marginal revenue less than. Competition with differentiated products. The monopolistically competitive firm in the short run. Short-run economic losses encourage firms to exit the market. This decreases the number of products offered, increases demand faced by the remaining firms, shifts the remaining firm's demand curves to the right, increases the remaining firm's profits. That's all for today, guys. And always remember that Father God loves you and me. Adios!